Hey YouTube, welcome back to Living the Dream Racing channel. Just wanted to give some updates and kind of let you guys know how things went. So first off, I want to apologize to everybody. I haven't been very good at doing updates to this channel. Life gets in the way sometimes. Work is a priority because we got to pay for this stuff somehow because it's all out of my own pocket. I don't get any help on this. And, things just happen. So the last video I did, I told you we got the engine back together and it was going to go back in the car and hopefully we're going to make some big power and do some good runs and stuff like that. So since then I have posted some of the videos that were done at the track and some other things like that, and I just wanted to discuss how the season went, how things went, what we're looking to do over the winter since we're there now, and pick back up next season. So anyway, we did make it to the track. We got the car back together. We got the chassis recertified. The first startup of the engine, we ran into a problem. We killed a couple of push rods. We had a top end oiling problem. It was pretty easily solved, and what I'd found is that my new lifters didn't have the oil groove machine in them that my old ones did, and that restricted the oil to the top end. So it was an easy fix, took a couple hours, cost me a couple of push rods, but things happen. So it is what it is. Easy fix, got taken care of. Now I get lots of oil to the top end, which is not a bad thing. Okay. Got the engine in the car. The new stator that we got from Chance Racing Converters was put in the converter. We went through the transmission because when I took it apart to check everything out, it was in pretty good shape. So we threw it all back together, swapped the stator in the converter that I'd bought, and we decided to go out and test. Now the first thing that happened, of course, obviously milking the oil a lot because didn't have the injection system set up properly, but we had a base tune in it. It was something that I could work from. Got that adjusted a little bit better. Did a flash stall test in the pits and found that the stator that we got sent is a little too loose. I had spoken with Marty at Chance Converters on my combo and the converter that I've got, and the stator that he sent he felt would be very, very close to what I needed. But this was based on an estimate of the engine stalling at approximately 45 to 4800 RPM behind the converter as it was, with a stator that was already in it. We missed the target. Found out later on that I stall at about 5600 RPM with that converter, not 45 to 48. So the stator that he sent me is about 1000 RPM off, too loose. So we need to tighten that up. In the process of working on that with him right now. I sent him a data log that I had, and they're going to go through it, and we're gonna see if we can pick a better stator for it. Can't blame anything on Marty. We just took a shot in the dark on that. So I gave him the information that I had. He took the information that he had, and we made a best guess on it. But data is everything, and when you got more data, you can get better stuff. So anyway, that's where we're at with that. So going back to the first pass of the year, went to make the first pass, and for whatever reason, the staging limiter didn't activate, and RPM shot to the moon, over 7 grand. I wasn't going to launch the car that hard. I can, but I'm not going to. So I backed out of the throttle, and about the time I backed out of the throttle, the tree came down, so I matted it again and let off the trans brake, and between the two, I didn't realize it at the time, but I broke the diode in the converter. I actually broke an element, and it came dislodged and took all the other elements out of the diode, and it pretty much quit working at that point. The car wouldn't get out of its own way. It wouldn't accelerate. Best I could do with it was an 860 to 160 miles an hour, which is pathetic for this build that I've got. So we did a couple more passes. Transmission was getting super, super hot, and I decided something wasn't right. We have to figure it out before we make another pass down the track. So brought the car home. I went ahead and pulled the transmission on it, and I'd managed to cook the high gear clutch in it. It wasn't really bad. It was burning, but it wasn't really bad. But it warranted replacing the clutch. The band was fine. The reverse clutch was fine. I went ahead and replaced some bushings that I felt might have been affected by it, which that wasn't too big of an issue. And I just took a good look, see, and of course we changed the fluid and everything in the transmission. I decided at that time I wanted to see what the car would do with the converter in the configuration that it was when I bought it. So I took the new stator out, I put the old stator back in, we got the car going, and based on some tune-up information that I had on the car already, I decided, well, we're tightening the converter back up. The tuning that I was doing on it's going to change, so let's put it back to its baseline. So I left the timing alone because I'd advanced the timing a little bit, and I put the fuel back to the baseline. And the next time we went out to the track, we were rewarded with a first pass of a 713 at 186 miles an hour, I think is what it was. Significant improvement over an 860 at 160 miles an hour. So, and we had like a 112.60 foot, which is still slow. Looked at the plugs. It was still way fat, so we pulled some fuel out of it, total of 10 numbers of fuel, and went ahead and made another pass, and I was immediately rewarded with a personal best in this car since I've owned it. And we went a 106.60 foot, which is not the fastest 60 foot I've ever been, but went a 106.60 foot, and we went 705 at 191 miles an hour to the quarter. That is a personal best. My previous best was a 707 at 179, so significant change in mile per hour, significant change in ET. The car was hauling ass. The one thing I do know is the converter is way too tight for this car. When it grabs second gear, it pulls it down a little over 1600 RPM, and the car, it's making a lot of power. It pulls through it, but you can definitely notice it on the acceleration. It's not a sweet spot for this car to be accelerating 5,900 RPM. It wants some more RPM than that. So, but I did manage to get a graph. We went out the next weekend, which was Labor Day weekend, the final race of the season. Because like I said, we haven't been out there a whole lot this year. Went out the final race of the season, and the car decided it wanted to park itself in a 712 range at about 186, 187 miles an hour. And like a 110.60 foot. So I attribute that more to the weather than anything else. But either way, finally had some success. We got a run recorded, that we could use as data for getting the converter figured out a little bit better. And I know a little bit better about where the fuel system's at. We did try a little bit of tuning that weekend because we did get some test runs in. What I found out is with the converter as tight as it is, it wants a lot more fuel to pull through that load, so the plugs are going to show it fat, but it's happier like that with that much load on it. So I'm not going to get a good read and a real good tune on the system with the converter the way it is. It needs to be loosened up quite a bit, although it'd probably work pretty well putting nitrous on it, but I don't think I'm going to be spraying enough nitrous to put this converter in its sweet spot. So I sent the graph off to Chance, and waiting for a call back from them, but I'm going to tell them basically I want to split it down the middle. I want to try to find a happy medium of having the right stall for not only running it on nitrous, but also NA. It's going to be a compromise. You can't have the best of both worlds. It's either going to be optimum for one setup or it's going to be optimum for the other. It's not going to be optimum for both. But my other converter, I'm considering sending that out and getting it redone because it'll be about perfect for NA. But I know that with the right stator choice and the right setup, my car it'll be a lot faster because there's a lot of ET left on the table when it can't accelerate it like it needs to. And it's the first half of the track, the first eighth mile, where it's really losing the ET because of the converter being too tight. It's pulling it down pretty hard, and it's not letting it accelerate like it needs to. So the car's got a lot left in it. The engine's making big power. That's all I can say. Numbers, I don't know. It's making big power. It looks like I'm looking down when I'm looking straight at the screen because of where the camera's at. But no, the engine's making big power. That's all I can say. It's for it to pull through a converter that's that tight and still pull the ET that it does. That should tell you something about the combo. It's stout. but like with anything, if parts are mismatched and not correct, it's not going to perform as well as it should. So um, we're gonna work on that over the winter. The other thing I've decided to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on a data recording system instead of trying to rely on the grid to record the data, because I need more data. I need to know wheel speed. I need to know drive shaft speed, or I need to know drive shaft speed versus engine speed. I need to know fuel pressure going down the track for both the fuel system and the nitrous system. I need to know nitrous bottle pressure. I need to know some other stuff going down the track that even though I've got gauges on the dashboard to cover it, I need to be able to look at that stuff after I make a run to see where everything is at, so we can make the correct tuning choices and at the correct time. So I've looked at the three basic ones. I looked at RacePak, I looked at Computech, and looked at RPM, and looking at feedback from all of those as well. Computech and RacePak, they've got a lot of pros, a lot of cons. Same with RPM, a lot of pros and a lot of cons. But for RacePak, even just using the Sportsman system, it's still going to cost me around $3,500 to put a data recorder in the car. Computech's about the same. It's going to be around between $3,100 and $3,500 to do the data recording system, because I have to buy a base package and then add to that package the items that I actually need. With the RPM system, I called them and talked to them, told them what I needed, and what they'll do is they'll build a system based on what I need, not a whole bunch of other stuff. The other thing is their data recorder has a lifetime warranty on it, which neither of the others do. And the way they work things is, Computech sends you all the stuff and you make it work, make it fit. Our RacePak, you got to figure out the length of cables you need to order and all that stuff. Well, what RPM does is they send you all the cables that you need for, whatever you said that you need for your system. And you take and figure out where you're going to put your data recorder. You route your cables and basically trim them to the correct lengths that you need. And then you send them back to them, and they'll factory terminate them for you, and then package up your system with everything that you need, and they'll send it to you. And then, of course, they've got 24/7 support, basically. The thing is that whole system is about $1,700. So way less than pretty much half, or just about half of what the other systems are for all the same stuff. And I couldn't find any bad reviews for RPM anywhere on anybody that runs their systems. And there's no reason to, spend that kind of money on something that is, gathers the same information for a name. Now, granted, RacePak's in more popular use because it's plug and play with the grid and MSD stuff. But the thing is I don't need to be plug and play, because the only thing it needs to read is engine RPM off of that. I need a data recording system that's going to be reliable, easy to set up, and provides me with what I need, and RPM makes that. So we're going to do that. We're going to put an RPM data recorder system in the car over the winter, and we're going to work on getting this thing fine-tuned. There's a lot left in this car. I still think it'll run easily into the mid-6s on motor. I think we can get into the low 6s with a mild shot nitrous on it, and we're going to find out. Something else we're going to do over the winter. I was going to do it this weekend. Just kind of burned out. Had a long trip here just a week ago, and I'm still kind of recovering from that. Went back down to Denver and picked up my daughter's truck trailer and her race car that she's going to be campaigning next year. She got it from my buddy Jim. I made her a hell of a deal on it, and she's going to be racing that one next year up here. So she's kind of excited, and we did a marathon trip down there to go get it, and I'm still feeling the effects of that. So kind of taking it easy this weekend. But I'm going to get the intake off my car, and I'm going to get that sent out to Steve at Induction Solutions and have him go through the nitrous system on it and make sure everything's right, make sure it's the tune-ups are correct and everything else. And also picked up a big bottle of nitrous because it's a lot more expensive up here. It was expensive down there too, but at least I was able to get my mother bottle, and I fill my own. So, and then it won't be that big of a deal to get it refilled up here. I won't need to refill it until the end of this next season, but at least I'll have it. It takes 4 to 6 weeks to get them refilled because I have to ship them out of state, but at least I have the bottle now, and we can do that if we need to. So, figured out a few things. Also going to put new slicks on the car. The ones that are on there, they're still working, believe it or not, but they're starting to go away. They're old. They've been on the car for several years now and have several hundred passes on them. So it's time to put a new set of slicks on the car. We got a new set of slicks in the trailer that came with my daughter's car. She's not going to need those right now. This next season's just going to be getting her used to the car, getting her dialed in, and getting her license. And then once she's ready to race, then we'll get new slicks for her car as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use those slicks on mine, and we'll get new ones for hers when the time comes. So aside from that, that's about all the updates we got. I'm thinking of getting some t-shirts made for this next season. If you guys think that's a good idea, if you might be interested in buying some swag or something like that, let me know. So I do want to try to continue to grow this. I know I've been doing a poor job. I'm going to try to do better, but just it takes a lot of time to work on this stuff and do everything else that I've got going on. And you know, it's right now it's pretty much a solo effort. It's not 100% a solo effort. I got a little bit of help, but still most of the stuff is just on me. So it's a lot to deal with and it takes a lot of time. And you know, we'll get it figured out. We're going to try to get some more time going this next year and spend a little bit more time working on this stuff and keeping you guys informed on what's going on. So anyway, that's the latest updates. Hope you guys like, subscribe, share to the channel, and I will try to post some additional videos over the winter. I'm going to practice on my video editing skills because they suck. Most of the videos that I've uploaded are pretty much raw. Some of them had a few clips, but I want to learn how to embed videos and do other stuff like that. So I'm going to practice with that over the winter, and hopefully I can do a little bit better on my media presentations and stuff on the channel and make things a little bit more entertaining and stuff like that, including an intro. I want to do an intro, and I'm going to have to learn how to figure that out too. So anyway, hey, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more updates. They'll be coming. Just can't promise you when. And we'll get back to it. So thanks a lot for watching.